can't see it from here, there's a train bridge, an old train bridge back this way. It's not being used anymore. We're gonna come out here this morning and see if we can find some glass or some bottles. This is one of the places I go, and it's early morning. It rained quite a bit last night, and hopefully stirred up some stuff. We'll see what we can find. There's where we're gonna be walking. Found a couple of stuff already in here, nothing really anything special. Bottom of a Columbia, Missouri Coca-Cola bottle. This is also a type of Coca-Cola bottle. This would have been pre-1915. I just know that because of the style of that embodiment of that neck. This was something interesting. That's really super dark green. I think the really super dark green glass, they might even call it black glass. I'm not sure. Don't know. Ooh, you know what though? You see that in the very center? That's where the panel was broke off. So that it says, come on, focus. See that? So that bottle is old. I mean, that's late 1800s easy. So anyway, and there's this glass all over the place down here. I used to save all kinds of broken stuff. I don't really too much anymore since I started finding whole bottles. I still save some broken stuff just because I find it really interesting and cool. I like going home, looking up the stuff that I find on the side of the bottles, seeing what's interesting. And that's part of a federal bottle, where it would have said federal law prohibits refill. Those would have been bottles that used right after Prohibition. That's probably uranium glass. I'll save that. No idea. It's the base to something broken, whatever it was. So a lot of broken stuff like this, I'll throw it up on the bank. Just get it out of the creek. That way, when I walk through here next time, I know it's not the same thing I'm finding over again. There's a lot of leaves falling off the trees recently too. I tried to come out here last week and everything was so plastered with leaves you couldn't see nothing. So the water coming through here last night definitely rinsed a lot of the leaves out of the way, which is good. I can see what I'm looking at. And there's a side of a Coca-Cola bottle maybe. What is that one? Yeah, that's a Pat D bottle. The Pat D bottles were after like the 1920s because they went a 1915 bottle, a 1923 bottle, and then the Pat D bottles. Throw that thing up on the bank. And I'm trying to look for so much different stuff. I mean, I'm trying to look for marbles, I'm trying to look for really tiny bottles, I'm trying to look for actual bottle shapes. So a lot of times these bottles are so dirty, you can't tell the difference between them and an old rock that's been sitting in the creek for a long time, so you just don't really know. But you can search little areas like right there, little catch points, like there where bottles get caught as they're tumbling down the creek. We're gonna find some cool bottles today, I can tell you that. Here's an old brick. I mean, it's not too crazy old, but it's old. Didn't have no holes in it. Oh, look at that. Look jar. It doesn't say anything. I think I have one like that. I don't know that I have one that's that small, but I have one that looks like that. I'll have to check when I get home. That's cool. There's definitely some milk glass though. That's for sure. There might be a 12 right there. Is that a 21? Not sure. We'll save that. That's cool looking. Piece of glass beside it. It's a nice blue color. I'll save that. Some of this, the uniquer, or the kind of interesting looking colors like this. I mean, I want to make like a mosaic table later, so I'll like break some of this glass and tumble it and some blue. And I would say that, I don't know, but that being an M, I've seen an M like that in the bottom of Bromo seltzers, and that would have been the Maryland? I think the Maryland Glass Corporation made bottles for Bromo seltzer. That's the other thing about these bottles too. I mean, you look at these bottles and you learn so much about history and about some of the silly things people used to believe. I bet you that's uranium glass. It looks uranium. I like keeping the uranium glass. The same thing. I'm gonna make some kind of a thing out of just uranium glass. So we're surrounded by cliffs on one side of this. As we get further down this way, we'll start finding more and more whole bottles. It was interesting to find that little milk glass container, and that was probably some kind of a cosmetic or something, some kind of a face cream, or it could even have been deodorant. There was a company called Mum that made deodorant back then that came in little milk containers like that, like stuff like that. Like underneath that rock would be a good catch point. There's some other bigger, you see these big concrete slabs up here. There used to be a water treatment facility here, and I don't know if like there was some stuff that they tore up from it or something. They just dumped it in the creek, and that's what all that is. And sometimes bottles catch around that stuff. What is that? Could have decided some kind of teacup or something. See, stuff like that. Just like finding weird things, just to be like, what is that? What did that go to? Where did that come from? And why? What did people use that for? Why did they throw it away? I find weird stuff in here. That's like marbles. Why do people throw away marbles? Like I found 2 marbles. One kind of a milk and orange, and the other one kind of a milk and blue. And what do you want with them? Why throw them away? I mean, was it like a punishment to the kid or something? Ooh, that's an interesting looking top. It's I want to say that's machine made. A lot of the machine made, you'll see the seam. The seam comes all the way up to the very top of the neck, and sometimes even over into it, like this one does. The more mold blown ones, the seam will come up and then just, you know, getting close to the top, it'll just gradually disappear. It won't even be present at the top at all. It's kind of an interesting pattern. I wonder if that's milk glass. Yeah, it's milk glass, I think. Interesting. I'm not going to keep it though. There's all kinds of tops over here. It's an old cork top. This is a piece of burnt, I don't know what all this stuff, it's just like a mangle of metal and other stuff. This is what comes out of a trash dump either somebody's privy on the backside of their property, or it was part of the city dump or something. It's where they would throw the trash in there and burn it, and then push it down, put more trash on top of it, and burn it, and push it down. They kept doing that until it got full, and it'd go somewhere else. So this is the type of stuff that washes out of that. I find a lot of melted glass out here too, which is obviously from that stuff as well. What's that blue come from? No idea. I found some other bottles like that have had those ridges on the sides. There's some tops. It's a cork top of some sort. Now this one, this one I would say was mold blown, because see how that that seam disappears as it goes up into the top? That's more of a mold blown. It's a Columbia, Missouri bottle. Could have been Coca-Cola. Could have been a number of things. Ooh, hey, there's a whole bottle. It's tiny. What is that? Don't know what that says. Q-Tex? Am I reading that right? That's cool. I like it. Probably not worth nothing, but it's cool. See, there's all kinds of crap back here. Look at this. I mean, who knows what that's from, you know? See, here's these big slabs. That's what I mean. This is from the water treatment facility that was here. I'm not going to get my boots wet for that. I take trash out of here too. I mean, something that's reasonable that I can pick up and put in my bucket and try and clean garbage out of the creek, I will. But honestly, I find so much junk back here. I'm more of a creek cleaner than I am treasure finder. Ooh, there's some glass pieces. That's a cork top for an old Clorox bottle. There's more of that blob kind of stuff. See, it's even got a piece of glass stuck in it. Somebody's cell phone charger. I'll pull that out of here. See, some of this, I mean, the water's still just kind of a smidge high. It'll get quite a bit lower than this from last night's rain. So some of this stuff, this little deeper areas like this, I'll wait till the water level goes down a little bit to poke around in there. So, I mean, this is pretty much what I do. I'm making this video so people can... I've had a lot of people ask me, where am I finding all these bottles and how? And this is it. I come out here and I walk these creeks and I poke around and I do research. I learn. I look stuff up. There's one of the big old burnt blobs. I find them all over the place. I don't see anything in there. Same kind of deal. I'll wait till water level goes down. I'll almost get on my back and climb up under into there. Oh, there's a big old piece of uranium glass. Wow. I don't know what that was. That's definitely uranium glass. That's cool. There's another, there's a cork top. It's still got the cork in it. think I'm gonna leave that out here for somebody else to find, just because they'll think it's cool. I'll set it right there. I do that sometimes. That's the other thing too, is if I find some kind of bottle or something that I think is kind of cool, but I'm not going to keep it. I think somebody else. There's got to be other people that come out here and do this. I'm not the only one. I'll set it somewhere like that for it's easy for them to find. Or if it's a whole bottle, I turn it upside down so it doesn't fill with water, or put it up close to the bank somewhere. If you let it sit where it fills with water, you know, if somebody doesn't find it within, you know, some time period, nice blue. If somebody doesn't find it within some time period, it can get water in it and freeze and crack and stuff. And so I tilt it upside down so it doesn't fill with water. And that would be an old ketchup bottle. Yeah, you see those big flat sides. Looks like you guys might get a whole video uncut today. You always find stuff like this from time to time. Oh, it's just a movie card. I thought it'd be like a debit card or something. Hey, check it. Don't know what that is. That's kind of cool. Too bad it's broken, especially up at the top. Like it's chipped right there. And there's a, oh please be whole, please be whole, please be whole, please be whole. I'll kind of poke around the bottle, kind of free up stuff underneath of it before trying to, there's something in it. It is whole, cool. Oh, it's got a big chip in the top. There's all this kind of dirt stuff. It's cracked up at the rim too. See, that's something I'm not going to keep. It's I'll put that up at the bank. I'll put both of these things up at the bank. It'll be something I keep. I see another whole bottle though. It doesn't say anything on it. It's a cork top, but it's a slick. See, I think that's blown. You see that? How you can see the seam, and it comes up in here, and the seam just disappears. I think that's blown. Because it does it on both sides. The seam disappears as it gets to the top. That sucks that chip is there. I'll keep it. Let's see what else is beside this thing. There's a part of a mason jar and some other little pieces of glass. See, this is one of those areas where bottles that get stuck underneath in here. And I don't see anything. I've pulled bottles out of this underneath before. They're just trying to crawl in from the other side. You don't see nothing. Not this time. Whoa. There's part of a jar. A ball jar. Potatoes in the bottle. there's a big chip out of the bottom. But that's just, no, see that seam, focus. See that seam goes all the way to the top and goes all the way to the edge of the mouth, you see that? So this bottle is not as old. And it does that on both sides. You can see where that seam goes all the way. So yeah, I'm not going to keep that. Number one, it's got a chip in the heel, and it's not that old, and it's got nothing on the outside of it, so it's not anything that would ever be very special to me. So put it over here in the bushes, face down. Somebody else will find that and think it's really cool. I don't see anything else under there. No, not keeping it. What does that say? St. Louis, Missouri, Richfield I don't know, Club. It looks like it looked like they stamped it twice. I too see two stamps. You see that? Had the Union label in the middle. That's a Union label, by the way. That circle with a kind of little diamond thing in it. I think I'll keep that, just because it says some stuff on it. See if I can look it up, see where it came from or whatever. That's nothing. See how this is burnt, or melted, I should say. How much of that's a piece of uranium? Like I said, I like keeping all the uranium glass just because it's really neat. I find it interesting. There's a part of the bottle. No idea what it is. Doesn't say nothing. There's some more burnt trash stuff. Ooh, look at that, it had a bottle stuck in it. Haha. I wonder what that was. That was like the bottom of somebody's bucket or something. Huh, that looks almost exactly like that other little bottle I found today. Interesting. Wonder if they both came from the same place. See, that's the weird thing too, is when you're finding this stuff from dumps, people, they come from households. People like the same stuff, so they buy the same things. So, if this is a certain perfume or whatever it was that the woman of the house liked, she bought some bottles of it from time to time. However long it took to go through this stuff, a month, couple months, whatever. So, when you find one trash pile, you'll find multiple bottles of the same thing. That's pretty cool. I'm glad I flipped that over. Yeah, that's just garbage. I guarantee I miss tons of stuff out here. That's why it's cool to come out here every once in a while, because, you'll walk this creek one day and literally come back out here the next day. I change directions in one day. I walk it one direction, and when I walk it back, I find even more stuff walking back that I missed the first time. Just changes your perspective or your view of which way you're looking and how the sun is hitting things. And there's some blue glass right there. Yeah, it's all melted. I'm not seeing a whole lot anymore. There's a big old blob of that rust stuff. And more of it right there. And right there. It's I find tons of that stuff out here. So that stuff would have things stuck in it too. I would think by water running through this stuff, it eventually completely deteriorate and collapse and let go of everything that's inside of it, if there is anything inside of it. A lot of times it's not. The heat melts stuff, it breaks it. Just usually not a lot worth anything in there. Is that another piece of melted blue glass? Yeah. I think that would have been an olive oil bottle. It would have had the small bulb at the bottom and then kind of a tall, slender neck. It's big old thick glass. Melted. No name or nothing on it. Another big old rust blob. Here's a side of a Coca-Cola bottle. See, this is one of the Christmas bottles. It says, it would have said December 25th, 1923 on it. Can't get away from COVID. Let's see, that's uranium. Yeah, looks melted though. Yeah, there's a log. That log wasn't here last time. There's a big old piece of glass. Ooh, yeah, this corner's gotten washed out a lot. I think that might be the end of the video for the minute. And I'm gonna turn it back on my way back if I find anything else interesting. I just closed up the video. It started raining pretty good on me, so I didn't get the camera out to film too much. I did find a couple more things. This is I think this was Hair Tonic, Fitch and Company. This dude started making hair tonic out of something else. Apparently, right before this dude started bottling this stuff, they were making a hair tonic out of like some kind of wood grain alcohol or something, and people were thinking that that would cause you to go blind, so they stopped using it. I think this is shoe polish. Of course, there's a 6-cylinder distributor cap. I mean, this would definitely be 30s. I mean, it came out of the dump, I can promise you that. I don't know what this is. Sterling, New York. And that is mold blown. See how you can see, like, watch. See the mold seam right there, and you follow it up, and it disappears up at the top. That's mold blown. Seam does it on both sides. Yep, and disappears at the top. It's a nice bottle. I bet you this is olive oil. Just because I found a couple other olive oil bottles, and that's kind of basically what they look like, real tall and slender like that. I have no idea about this little milk glass. It's first I found one like that at Square. This is a Pond's. I find bunches of those. There's another Fitch bottle. I don't know. I wasn't sure about this one. Why did I save this one? Oh, because it's got some writing on the bottom. And those are those other ones you've already seen me find. So that was it today. Not a whole bunch. Enough cool stuff to make me happy. Some of this like that's not worth anything. I was just keeping it for conversation piece. So just make my way back down the creek here and go back to the truck, call it a day.